Hello, my name is Holland Timmins, also known as The Connoisseur, and today I'll be reviewing Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith is my second favorite Star Wars movie because, again, everything's building up to this movie and it pays off everything. More than that, this movie is important because it ties everything together, the prequel trilogy to the original trilogy. And it's really good. I mean, it has everything I want to see in a Star Wars movie: ship battles, lightsaber battles, romance, drama, uh, even shades of politics. I mean, this is how the Empire was created. If you didn't know, Star Wars Episode 3 is loosely based off of uh, Akira Kurosawa's Throne of Blood. You could tell that by the plot structure. If you know the Shakespeare play, Macbeth, bad luck for saying that, but whatever, so you know what it is. Yes, Akira Kurosawa's Throne of Blood is based off Macbeth, so essentially what you're getting here is third-hand Shakespeare. I don't know. It is Shakespeare in a way. Um, Anakin is Macbeth and Padme is Lady Macbeth. Although their roles have greatly changed, they're still in those roles. It begins with Anakin and Obi-Wan going on a secret mission through a massive battlefield above the city planet of Coruscant, and they are going to rescue the captive Chancellor from the Sith Lord Count Dooku. Now, if you've seen the original trilogy, you'll see that this lightsaber battle is very reminiscent of the one that takes place in the Death Star at the end of Episode 6. Yeah, there's a lot of parallels there. And again, Anakin, like Luke, makes a choice that Luke goes the other direction on. It's very father and son. Just like the different directions their lives went at these pivotal points in their life. How certain things they managed to do and other things they separated at. Very good. Anyway, Anakin arrives home and essentially General Grievous is hiding out on Otapu, and Supreme Chancellor Palpatine appoints Anakin to his role as his very own personal voice on the Jedi Council, something the Jedi Council does not take lightly. Anakin has a vision of Padme's fate, and so he goes to a spiritual advisor in the form of Yoda in the ways of the Force, and concerning prophecy. This is the first time, like, when Macbeth went to the witches concerning his prophecy. He finds out Padme is pregnant, much like Lady Macbeth was, but she will die in childbirth, and he has no idea about the children, which is a twist on Lady Macbeth. After he is appointed to the council, he goes to the stoner opera where there's these liquid things with glittery shit, and it's total stoner opera, I swear. Chancellor Palpatine starts talking about Darth Plagueis the Wise, who's probably the Sith Master he slew, or he's just completely waxing stoned, I don't know. But it explains a lot about Anakin, or it explains a lot about Palpatine. He may be going senile, I don't know. But he's definitely evil, so, yeah. Let's see. If you remember his story, that Darth Plagueis could manipulate midichlorians to create life, that's a very key thing, because if you buy into the fact that Chancellor Palpatine was the apprentice who slew Darth Plagueis in his sleep after learning everything he knew, that means Chancellor Palpatine influenced the midichlorians and Anakin's mother to create Anakin. Now, did he create a Sith weapon, or did the Force use him to create the Chosen One unwittingly. Who knows? But anyway, this is the second instance of Anakin or Macbeth seeking counsel from someone mystical. Macbeth sought assistance from the higher power of the Queen of Witches, Hecate. I think that's how you say the name. But here he is going to the Supreme Chancellor and learning about the Force and the prophecies and stuff. And this is Anakin's version of Hecate. So, of course, Obi-Wan goes to Otapu and meets General Grievous and slays him with the least likely weapon a Jedi would use. This movie has the most number of lightsaber battles out of any Star Wars movie, and they're all well done. What I like about the prequel to Star Wars lightsaber fights is, like, they're almost like live-action anime sword fights, and I love anime sword fights, except these are live-action, so they're doing the best they can to, like, create these anime-type sword fights. I think it's really awesome. People say that George Lucas ruined the lightsaber fight with the prequels. I say he perfected it. Anyway, so after he defeats Grievous with the least likely weapon, Chancellor Palpatine reveals himself to Anakin, and Anakin, being the Chosen One, really wants to execute Palpatine, but he knows Palpatine's the only one that can help save Padme. So, you know, he's brandishing his lightsaber at the back of Palpatine's neck, and Palpatine's just getting off on it. He's sick. Anyway, so there's this great scene where Anakin is being told to stay behind by the Jedi who are going to arrest Palpatine. This great silent scene where the actors just are looking at each other across the city, and you can tell that they're thinking. I think Lucas knows when to let the actors act. And sometimes when they act silently, that's their best performance. I'll come back to this in an Indiana Jones review where Harrison Ford does the same thing. But you let the actors just kind of act almost silently, and you get really great performances. Anyway, so after this sword fight that ensues, Anakin then goes to see if he can pump Palpatine for information. Not that way sick. Anyway, and Mace Windu is about to kill Palpatine, going against the Jedi Code, and Anakin is actually tricked into joining the dark side by doing the right thing the wrong way. He chops off Mace Windu's arm, allowing... Well, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say Mace Windu ends up extra crispy. So, Anakin converts to the dark side, and much like Macbeth, he leads an army to the enemy, and not only slaughters the enemy, but also slaughters their children, or the younglings. And that's when Obi-Wan and everybody else, like all the other Jedi, get wiped out due to Order 66 at the same time. Again, all the lightsaber battles are great in this movie. Finally, he goes to Mustafar, Anakin goes to Mustafar, the Slava planet, to wipe out the last of the resistance of the Clone Wars, to end the Clone Wars finally. He does so while the Empire is created by Palpatine, and makes you wonder which is more horrifying, the Empire being created or Anakin wiping out these sentient life forms. They're both pretty evil, but the question is which is more evil. Good question. Um, Very good question. Anyway, Obi-Wan finds Padme. She leads him to Mustafar. Anakin kind of gets short with Padme for leading the man who's come to kill him straight to him. So Padme is taken out of the equation pretty quickly, and Anakin and Obi-Wan fight in what is probably the greatest sword duel. Well, lightsabers aren't really swords, but you know what I mean. The greatest lightsaber duel ever filmed. This is even above the All-Sith duel in Season 5 of the Clone Wars. This ranks above even that. This is just a really badass sword fight. And it's complemented by another fight scene between Sidious and Yoda. But where Yoda fails, Obi-Wan succeeds due to experience. Throughout the entire prequel trilogy, they keep talking about something called the arrogance of the Jedi. And Anakin, being as powerful as he is, has extreme arrogance, where Obi-Wan has experience, and he uses that experience to humble Anakin's arrogance quite severely. So Anakin, quite humbled, kind of gets immolated, and I don't mean impaled, I mean immolated, as in set on fire. Let's see. There's this very strong sequence of the Force being used. Anakin is dying, Padme is giving birth at the same time, so there's death and there's life. Padme starts dying for no reason at all, and Anakin starts to become reborn as Darth Vader, getting new life yet again. And there's like this scene where Vader asks where Padme is. And if you didn't notice this, I'm going to point it out now. Sidious says, "In your anger, you killed her." And it's like, how did Sidious know that? How did Sidious know that Padme was dead? Unless he, of course, was the one sucking the life out of her to give it to Anakin, who was dying at the time. So how would he know that Padme was dead if he wasn't there? Unless, of course, he was the one that was responsible, so there's that to think about. Let's see. The twins that Padme gives birth to are divided up, and they're sent each their separate way. And they will come back again in future episodes, but I'm going to leave it there. So how did I think of this movie? What did I think of this movie? I thought it was very well done. I mean, as a retelling of Throne of Blood, it's actually quite good. And also as a retelling of Shakespeare's Macbeth, it is also quite good. As its own movie, it's really good. I mean, it's got everything I wanted in a Star Wars movie. I mean everything. So I can't help but say that I love this movie a lot. I mean, it's the payoff to everything that has come before, and it's a grand payoff. It's masterful filmmaking at its finest. What would I give this movie? Well, my rating system is, if you give me everything I want to see out of a film of this type, I'm most likely going to give you a 10 out of 10. And the Star Wars movie gave me everything I wanted out of a Star Wars movie, so you can't help it. I used to think this movie was a really good movie, but had some flaws. But now that I think about it, other than a few minor quibbles, I mean, this movie is one of the best Star Wars movies I've ever seen, so of course it's getting a 10 out of 10. Yeah, so It shows how democracies are pretty much overthrown from within. A very important political point to keep in mind, especially considering what's happening now. And so yeah, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, my second favorite Star Wars movie, and a damn good movie on its own, which all good Star Wars movies should be. And yeah, I would totally recommend it. Alright, bye. This is the Connoisseur signing off. Take care.